Oh, hello, Carl. How are you, sir?
Hi, thanks for having me on.
Good. It's my pleasure. So, you are one of three openly gay Republicans running the seat in your district?
No, we're not all in the same district. District. Apparently,
Oh,
there
okay,
are three
okay,
across the
okay.
country
I couldn't imagine
that
that.
are
Yeah,
running.
but yeah. Okay, that's what I thought. That's what I thought. Now, you are facing, as we played a soundbite when you were on with Greta, where you indicated you were facing all kinds of harassment and photoshopping you in photos, and that the money for these attacks and the attacks themselves are being perpetrated, by progressive / Democrats. Correct?
Yeah, and when Dana Perino of Fox News came out to do a profile on my race, she said, "You're getting a lot of national attention. You've done a lot to turn the brink of bankruptcy. I authored the pension reform initiative in San Diego that privatized the pension system, and now we're taking that nationally. My model is being used nationally." And she said, "You're an interesting candidate, having been an orphan, a businessman." As we were going through the process of interviewing back and forth, she came across these attacks. I had always known about them, but I haven't made a big deal about it. I don't wear my orientation on my sleeve. It's who I am, but it doesn't define the full breadth of what I am in terms of a leader for San Diego. And she thought that this was an interesting example of hypocrisy, that left-leaning groups that say that they want full equality, that say that they want to support the LGBT community and get LGBT individuals elected to office to serve as role models, they actually actively work against my candidacy solely because I'm a member of the Republican Party. And so, my view is that the left is using social issues as a shiny distraction object because they don't want to talk about issues like fiscal reform, economic prosperity, government accountability, because if they did, they would lose elections.
It's very interesting because they're doing to you, and there aren't that many gay Republicans, openly gay Republicans that run. So we haven't had a bunch of this, but it's very interesting. It's sick and scary and sad, but it's interesting that they're doing to you what I was just talking about because a story broke a little while ago where Congressman Bernie Thompson, a Democrat from Mississippi, said that Clarence Thomas is an Uncle Tom, Mitch McConnell's a racist, but let's focus on the Clarence Thomas. It's almost commonplace and acceptable, of course, for Democrats and the media to call conservative women names and to call conservative blacks Uncle Toms, etc. They did it with Condi Rice. They did it with Clarence Thomas all the time, Michael Steele, the list goes on. And now we're seeing it happen to a gay candidate because, maybe they're going to say you're not gay enough or not down with the cause enough, which is what they say about conservative women and conservative blacks. Do you see the comparison?
Oh, absolutely. And it's a standard set of talking points to demonize the Republican Party. Now, let's, put on record that the Republican Party has its fair share of problems it's got to deal with on these issues, and that's why I call myself a new generation Republican. I think that the Republican Party ought to be standing for not just economic freedom, not just fiscal freedom, but personal freedom, and we should allow these issues to be decided by individuals in the context of their faith and their family beliefs, not have government decide one way or another. Now, that being said, I think that that's a heck of a lot better a position, a libertarian view of getting government out of these issues for the cause of equality and treating people with respect and accepting diverse points of view. At the end of the day, that's still not good enough because I have a Republican label that I'm, associated with the Republican Party, that these progressive activists are willing to put aside what they claim to want to achieve for LGBT Americans in the name of partisan politics. They did this, by the way, with the last race that I was in. Bob Filner, Democrat, ran against me for San Diego mayor. And not only did these LGBT groups sit on the sidelines and not support me, but they did not call out Bob Filner when he gay baited in the race, and KPBS actually called it gay baiting. These LGBT groups sat on the sidelines. Now, had a Republican behaved the way that Bob Filner behaved, there would be. they would be calling for the immediate removal of the individual from the ballot. There'd be hell to pay. But because I'm a Republican, there's a different standard applied, and they're actually willing to look the other way.
Well, you talk about your successful record as a San Diego city council member, and it is a shame that this is an issue at all. As you alluded to, you don't wear it on your sleeve, and it shouldn't be important. So, I mean, do you think that you could turn the tide? That you could use this? Not that you're glad it's happening, but that you could use this to your advantage. I mean, I don't believe, and you correct me if I'm wrong, I don't believe that these gay activist groups represent the feelings and thoughts of all gay people, just like I don't think Al Sharpton and Jesse Jackson represent blacks in America. I don't think any one person or group represents all. So can you turn this around? We've got a minute left, unfortunately. We had some trouble getting a hold of you, but could you turn this around and use it to your advantage, or at least to educate people?
Well, look, this is something I've had to deal with for many years, so I don't know about advantage, but I am going to continue to be who I am, which is I am for inclusion and acceptance and diversity in the Republican Party around a message of reform, fiscal reform, economic prosperity, government accountability. And the most unique thing about me is not the fact that I'm gay. The most unique thing about me is the fact that I've gotten substantial reform done in government, saving the city of San Diego from bankruptcy. And, I'm happy to put that record up against anyone, even within the Republican Party.
Give me your website, Carl. Carl, give me your website, Carl. Give me your website before we run out of time.
Go to carldemaio.com, carldemaio.com, or cleanupcityhall.com. Both will go to my website.
All right, cleanupcityhall.com is an easy one. Thank you, Carl. Good luck. We'll have you back. Steve Malzberg, Give Me 5 is next, folks.